You know, Friday, lots to do on a Friday. How many people feel like it's the end of the summer? People are like going a little cray cray again. And we're going cray cray again because there's a lot of stuff we got to talk about. That's the reason we're going cray cray. But good morning, everyone. This is Carol Sue, aka Naughty Boss, live with two.
Sistas. Good morning, everyone. This is Janice, aka Wellness Diva 5.0. Fantabulous Friday. We missed yesterday, and with good reason, with everything going on in the world today. And we want to bring some highlights to you on a fantabulous Friday. You know, good vibes are a part of our daily habits, but how should I say this? Things happening around in the world tug at our heartstrings, as we know that they are tugging on your heartstrings as well. And how do we even come on today and be like, hey, it's Fantabulous Friday? And sometimes that is not easy, but it's all about sharing value and sharing what we are passionate about through what we do in our daily lives. So Carol Sue, I'm going to turn it over for you for the beginning of Fantabulous Friday.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jan. And yeah, I mean, it's really how you have to look at your mindset and which direction that you want it to go, knowing that you have restrictions. You have restrictions on what you can control. We say this all the time. You are only in control of how you act and how you react. So first off, our hearts, our prayers, just ache, not only for the women and the children over in Afghanistan, but for the soldiers and the families that have lost recently, like in the last 24 hours, have lost their lives. I believe the number is up to 14. I'm not 100% sure. So that is my best guess, from what I heard. If I'm not correct on that number, I apologize. But anytime someone that serves and lose their lives, whether they're in law enforcement, firemen, in the military, anyone that, you hate to say that it's a badge of honor from a mindset of them, but it's a badge of honor to serve. And they know the risks going in for themselves, for their families, and they still get up every day, men and women, serving not only our country on our own, soil, but elsewhere in the world. And it's not only a sacrifice of them, it's a sacrifice of their families. How many soldiers troops were pulled out, and rightfully so. I do believe, as most people do, that it had to happen. There's obviously a lot of controversial opinions, quarterbacking, whatever you want to call it, regarding how the transfer of power and how we retreated, how we left and exited out of Afghanistan. We have a lot of questions on that. I'm not sure that you'll ever get full answers, because we know that's something that's not from the average citizen, that's not in our privy, that's not in our control. We don't control it. We can voice our opinion about it, but ultimately we don't control it. So first off, our hearts and prayers go to that. And when you hear news like that, like Jan said, in addition to knowing what's going on in our own country with schools, with CRT, with mandates, and the constant media, you just don't get a break from it. So how do you still try to find some joy without feeling guilty about it, without, is it appropriate? Is it not appropriate? I think anyone that serves would tell you it is appropriate to pay homage, of course, to pause, to reflect. But life is very short. We don't know. We're all on borrowed time. And it's kind of a blunt statement, but we are born to die. So what are you going to do in between? We already know our mission at birth is death. That's harsh, but that's the reality. As soon as you're born, you're on a ticking time bomb of when you're going to die. But what are you going to accomplish in between that time to leave your mark? Sadly, you hear about so many children that succumb to either childhood illnesses, different variations of things that do not have them have a good life, and or that their life expectancy is much shorter. And they still manage to enjoy the simple things. For a parent that gets that horrible news that their child, has some sort of impairment or disease or illness, that they're not going to be on this earth for a long period of time, really try to focus on the small things, a touch of the hand, maybe, a curve of that child's face, a smile, some sort of, experience with that child, maybe in a form of communication that they didn't think they were going to have. Are those monumental things to those particular parents, even though they were short and were not long-lived? You betcha. You talk to somebody that's also been given, sorry, there's a truck going by right now, I'm outside. You talk to those parents that have a terminal ill child that are spending 80% of their time in and out of a hospital getting treatments. Where do they find time? It may be the joy of a simple relationship with someone in the medical field, a nurse that's taking care of them. They have a lot of committees within hospitals that bring joy to terminally ill children. We have a lot of, especially in the Massachusetts area, you've got a lot of celebrity sports athletes that will go in and volunteer their time and stop and see. Those are all little, when in the scheme of life, those are all very little pieces, but there are ways for us to have some joyful moments. Doesn't mean you're gonna have these big, huge, joyful, life easy, it's a party, it's a blast, but don't feel bad and don't feel guilty, because people that serve or take care of would want you to do that, because life is precious and we don't know when that time is, we've been called home to whatever religion, whatever faith that you believed in. So it is difficult. It is difficult to come on, especially when you're doing a podcast or you're chatting with your clients and customers, helping them deal through what they're dealing through and still put a positive spin on it. So I think the only suggestion I can say to someone, if you are struggling with trying to enjoy like the upcoming weekend, for a lot of people in the Northeast, this is really kind of, excuse me, the last, I guess you could say, full blast weekend before the start of school for some, and just be with somebody. And if you can't necessarily be with somebody because you're feeling just mentally spent, exhausted, stressed, worried, fear, I always say the best emotion is gratitude and giving of yourself to someone. So it doesn't sound like it's like a big deal, but it is a big deal. Maybe go visit the local nursing home if you can, if they allow that. Maybe you have an elderly neighbor that can't get out. Maybe ask them if they need an errand to run. Maybe you have a mom that has been, setting up for homeschool, is exhausted. Say, hey, you know what? I'm going to go to the house. You take a break, and here's $25. Go get yourself a manicure. Maybe it's helping with the children. Maybe you've got a neighbor or you're a child that needs help, an adult child that needs help, well, they call them adult children, but, that needs help with their family so they can run their errands. It doesn't have to be anything big, but if it helps someone, gratitude from the person receiving it is going to give you joy, but it's also going to, the joy is reciprocated with the person that you're giving it to. And those are things that I believe, Jan, don't you think that anyone that serves would want us to do?
I think they certainly would. And while you were chatting, I did look it up, and it's 13 US soldiers and 95 Afghans. And that was reported, updated an hour ago.
Thank you for the update.
Oh my gosh. Yes, our hearts ache for that. And gratitude is the best form is one of those emotions that isn't old, doesn't have to take money, but is a way to brighten somebody's day. Even if it's that you just reach out. I know a lot of our veterans and people that have served, they are going through a tough, very, very tough time right now, knowing that their brothers and sisters in the armed forces are going are going through this right now. Why not reach out to the one of them?
Absolutely.
Everybody knows somebody. Shuddy.
The
Everybody
birdie.
knows someone that's in the military service, and
I think the birdie's agreeing with us.
I guess he is, but I'm ready to stuff it. But anyway, no, I would never do it. I mean, he can be very joyful and very comical, especially when he flies around the lot. There we go. And I'm just going to mute myself.
This is what happens when you do it. I love it when we do a like back get back. I should just, we are very authentically sharing our lives with you in ways on which we can impact your lives in a positive way, so you can go impact someone else in your life. But these are kind of the tricks of the trade of what do you do when there's noises. So how many times, I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that. Maybe you're on the phone with a doctor about your child, or maybe you're making an appointment for yourself. Maybe you need work done. Anyways, you're on that phone call, right? And your kids are running around the house and mommy, I need this, mommy, I need that. So you can relate to that. It's kind of the same thing with when you're doing a podcast from different locations and or from your home. You are bound to get interruptions, and they can be of the wing type or the fluffy type. It just, it is what it is, and that's okay. There, the bird, I think, was just, really echoing our feeling, trying to make sure that we pay homage to those that serve. And it is sad, but we've got to try to find ways to combat that. And how can we? So we've given you some great tools. Really check in with your neighbor, especially in this heat. Sometimes some people may not have central air. Maybe they've got the window units. Maybe one of them is not working correctly. Make sure that you're checking on them, because the heat is a big deal for a lot of people. In addition, like I said, errands, run an errand for someone, give someone of your time, even check with your local church. Is there a family in need? What can I do best to help my community and impact the community in a positive way, that even though I can't control what's going on in Afghanistan, I can't hug those poor families that are going through this traumatic experience, life altering situation. But what can I do? I mean, I think it's almost a sense, that heavy feeling when it's humid out, and you feel it on your chest. I kind of think that's the country's just got the heaviness on their heart as to what to do. What can we do? It's over there, it's not here. While it is really here, because you got those families. So I'm sure the only, thing that you hold on to is, that those communities that those families are from, that their families, loved ones, and the community is reaching out. Maybe, what is it, Tower to Tower, make a donation to Tower to Tower that helps soldiers and law enforcement and everyone that needs that assistance. Maybe do it that way. Check with your local hospital. Is there anything that I can do? Is there any family in need that, needs help? And I think the power of volunteering, the power of offering to do something for someone that can't, that maybe they're helpless, or that they need assistance, or maybe they just need that mental break, that is going to bring you joy. And you're going to see that they're going to be surprised that you're so joyful. So it's kind of intertwining Fabulous Friday with Wellness Wednesday. We're kind of gathering the two, because I think as a country, as a people, humanity, we've got heavy hearts right now, and we have to find ways. I do believe that, the bigger scheme is that we're being tested. And are we going to pass the test? And the only way that you can pass the test is to take the test. And I think the test is to help others.
Absolutely. And the name of that is actually Tunnel to Towers Foundation. So I will make sure once we get done with the live that we put the link to that. It's just amazing what this foundation is doing for our veterans and their families. Just amazing. I can't
Yeah.
say enough.
Yeah,
good
first,
things.
first responders, firemen, law enforcement, those, they've got a calling. And I think people forget that, it takes a special person. Some people, it's really an emotional calling. For some, it's a spiritual calling. For some, they just know it. And some, it's just in their blood. Maybe they're the second, third, or fourth generation that is doing that calling. And it's just, it amazes me every time, the selflessness that goes into that.
Yes, absolutely. And I also did see, I also did see and I forgot where I saw it, but it was a flight attendant, and I believe it was a male, that was rolling a cart that he's going to walk with the flight attendant cart to raise money and awareness.
Love that. That's such an awesome, and there's so many good people out there that want to do good, that want to feel they're feeling helpless, and they want ways to interact, to like make a difference. And what do we always say? We always say, be a part of the solution, not part of the problem. So, anyone that serves or that is in need, the first thing that they would tell you to do is live your life, go out and do good, go out and help others, serve. I think, humanity as a whole are servers, whether you're serving from a capacity of a profession, whether it be a police officer, military, fireman, doctor, whatnot, nurse, first responder. We all have that within us to serve. So whether it's you're serving your own community, whether you're serving your neighbor, whether you're volunteering at your church, we are givers. Humanity are givers and we are servers. So use your talents, your God-given talents. And even if you don't think you have a talent, you do. Maybe that talent is just sitting in, you have the gift of gab. You hear the gift of gab. What does that actually mean? It obviously could mean that you're a great presenter, you're a great speaker, but maybe you're just a person that's good company, that you add value, you add humor, you be goofy, you put a smile on someone's face. Maybe your gift of serve is baking. There's a lot of great bakers out there, and we are in obviously the fun time of summer. We've talked about different there's so many great summer recipes and healthy recipes, but gooey, gummy, yummy recipes. Go out and bake something for somebody. Do an errand. How many times, especially a young mom is juggling. I've got to be here with this child. I got to be there with that child. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Hey, what can I do? I'm going out to Wally World right now. Do you need anything? Can I pick up something for you? Those are like, for some people seem so small, but they're not. They impact somebody in a positive way.
Create that impact zone, hashtag impact zone, Fantabulous Friday. And it's just getting louder and louder over here.
Oh, the birdie. That birdie. So what do you got going on this weekend?
Oh, there's always something going on this weekend. A lot of Poppy's refrigerator is filled with produce. So we'll be crushing up the tomatoes and freezing them and all that sort of stuff. And we have to go back in the garden again. And, what better way to, maybe Tina needs some tomatoes. Who knows?
Oh, yes, she does need some tomatoes. We would love some New England tomatoes because there's a big difference in tomatoes from different areas. So I would love some tomatoes.
Yes, we will definitely bring some up with us on Sunday for sure.
That's awesome.
And on that note, because it's getting so noisy here, this is Janice, aka Wellness Diva 5.0, and it's Fantabulous Friday, and I am with
TwoSistas, and this is Carol, so aka Naughty Boss Live. We hope that you embraced Fantabulous Friday. If you can't find anything to be about happy, there's a lot of things to be happy about. There's a lot of things to be grateful for. Go out, share some gratitude. I'm telling you, that will bring you some happy. We will see you Monday for Monday Mindset. You guys have a great, great weekend. Prayers to everyone involved, and let's hope there is no more that succumb to what is going on in Afghanistan. Let's pray. Have a great day, everyone.